With the college football season almost here, it is time for my, final pre-CFB season, 2025 NFL mock draft. Second one I've done in a long time. I didn't realize how few of these I'd actually done. The order is based on the current Super Bowl odds, so take it up with Vegas, not me. Number 1 is the Patriots, and I don't necessarily think that they'd actually keep this pick. They'd probably trade it, but they're not going to go quarterback here. I think the best thing you can do if you have a young QB is get that guy some help. A plug-and-play option at left tackle in Will Campbell, given the uncertainty around the Patriots' offensive line, makes the need make a lot of sense. Now, if you are hyped for the start of the aforementioned college football season, Week 0 coming up this weekend, then spam me in the comment section of today's show. In a bubble, I'm not doing trades, by the way. Number 2 is a little bit rich for Luther Burden, but if you're not going to have to do a weird stuff with Marvin Mims potentially, Troy Franklin does look like he's an instant impact piece. I think a after-catch nightmare in Luther Burden is a fantastic fit for what Sean Payton wants to do with Bo Nix on offense. So number 2 overall, a little bit rich. But the fit, I love. Carolina at number 3, James Pearce Jr., the edge rusher out of Tennessee. I am a huge fan of his game. I'm probably higher on him than most people are, or at least some people are, I guess. But again, pass rusher to replace Brian Burns. You're filling needs. And I think in general, the top of this board, the top 14 players, you can make arguments could all go a lot higher or a lot lower. Maybe not too much lower as you get further down. But that ordering is still TBD, but the players are really intriguing. The Giants at 4. If you're picking 4, it proves Daniel Jones is not it. It probably has to be a QB. There are things to like and not like about Carson Beck. I think the stability is a nice one there. I think the overall consistency is pretty solid. I don't know if the high-end traits are there. But it's a down QB class. So where the QBs go, how many go in round 1 is very much up for debate. Tennessee, I kind of love the idea of taking another tackle and pairing him with J.C. Latham. Now, maybe you don't want to have to put one guy at right tackle, but I don't believe in Nicholas Petit-Frere. So bookend tackles to protect your QB, if that's Will Levis or somebody else, I actually like. Abdul Carter is number 6 on my list. And look, maybe this is the low-hanging fruit in me. Can't you just see Dan Quinn looking at number 11 for Penn State and going, this is my Micah Parsons in Washington. Now, I don't think it's going to be as good as Micah Parsons, but there's a lot to like, and I think that player comp is actually semi-viable given the way he's been deployed so far for the Nittany Lions. Number 7, I'll put Shedeur Sanders in Las Vegas. Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell are not it. So, gambling on the sexy young QB in Vegas, I don't know if it's a good idea or a bad idea, but it makes it fun and entertaining. The Saints at number 8. This is just actually a straight best player available pick. I know they have Brian Brzee at DT. Maybe you don't need 2 of those guys. I think Mason Graham is going to be the top player in this year's class. Just big board talent-wise. He's awesome. One of 2 great Michigan players, by the way. Well, I guess I meant to specify Michigan defensive tackles. There's 3 great Michigan players. Several of them going in the top 20, by the way. Will Johnson, also in that same conversation alongside Mason Graham. Don't sleep on Kenneth Grant to Minnesota. DT's a huge need. So is corner. I think Will Johnson's the best corner in this year's class. I think there are a lot of players that we can say are the best player in this year's 2025 NFL draft. As we sit before the season gets going, obvious caveat there. Who do you think, as we sit right now, is the best player in the 2025 NFL draft? Lots of viable names. Drop them for me at the pinned comment of today's show. I'm going to go Mykel Williams out of Georgia for Arizona. I think that fits pretty well the additional pass rusher that this team needs. I also thought about a corner for Arizona. I'll put Benjamin Morrison at a Notre Dame at number 11 to Tampa as they restock that secondary. The top 3 corners, you probably know who they are, really good class this season. Number 12, the Seahawks, Deion Walker. I love his game. The size-speed combination is up there alongside Jordan Davis. And he did more stuff than what Jordan Davis has to do at Georgia. Again, I think the interior D-line class, very promising early returns. Safety at 13, unusual. Malachi Starks is a stud. The Colts badly need one. I adore that fit. Pittsburgh at 14. So in my semi-drunk dream the impossible scenario, I want to make Travis Hunter my number 2/number 3 receiver who plays in 3 packages, and I want to make him like my number 3 corner who plays in 3 corner sets. That could be Pittsburgh, right? And if anyone can handle I actually don't think he's that much of a diva, but anyone can handle that, Mike Tomlin, right? You put George Pickens and Travis Hunter and somebody else at wide receiver 3, and Joey Porter Jr. and somebody in the nickel and Travis Hunter at corner. Why not? I kind of want to play him at both. If you don't want to play him at both, he's probably still a top 3 receiver or a top 3 corner for you in this class. He is a very fun player. I will put him at athlete. I don't know if the bosses will let me come draft time, but for now, I'm going to. Emory Jones Jr. at LSU. Some think he might be a guard, but I think he's going to have a good year for the Tigers. Jacksonville, that Walker Little, Cam Robinson combination doesn't appear to be that great, so probably could consider that one. Colston Loveland, the tight end out of Michigan. Let's get Jim Harbaugh an inline tight end. That's what he wants, and it's a Michigan man too. And then that makes sense. And that just fit so properly for you. Today's show here at Chat Sports is made possible by Game Time. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live easier than ever, especially going to a college football game. By the way, you can find some damn good deals on college football games. I was at a bachelor party one year in New Orleans, and the Tulane game was $5. Tulane's like a decent team, too. It was fun. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only the incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Download the Game Time app, create your account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. That is promo code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off. Terms do apply, but again, create your account, use code CHATSPORTS, and get that $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today for last-minute tickets. Lowest price, all guaranteed. With the Browns having some uncertainty long-term about their receiver room outside of the extended Jerry Jeudy, how about you add a giant human being in Tetairoa McMillan? Some have him as wide receiver 1. I like Luther Burden more. That could be a flavor of ice cream thing. I would argue probably closer to being a top 15 player than a top 20 player, if not inside a top 10 in this year's class. Also like Nick Scorton a lot. I said the top 15 guys, all great. Maybe I should have expanded top 21 or so, give or take. Nick Scorton, the Bears need another pass rusher. The Purdue to A&M transfer he's really good. Don't sleep on him. I am very excited to see how he plays this upcoming season. Number 19, Takario Davis. I think the Rams could use another corner still. I don't think that they should view themselves as being done at that spot. And I am a little bit higher, I think, than most people on Takario Davis and on several Arizona players in general. But I do like what he has to offer. I think it'd be a fun fit in that Rams defense. A name you might not know. Shout out Dane Brugler for mentioning him, I think, more than other people did. But I think he's right. Siobhan Revell out of East Carolina. This is where CFB 25 is going to be helpful. He's really good for East Carolina in the game too, by the way. Underrated corner prospect. A lot of things to like. The size, the athletic ability, checks off all those boxes. Could be to an extent. Quinyon Mitchell had a great year for Toledo, but then blew up at the Senior Bowl. Could be something similar here. Number 21. Don't sleep on Kenneth Grant. The other Michigan defensive lineman is very well regarded around the NFL. I was told there's at least one team that sees potential top 10 pick ability there. And I know that for a fact. So, Grant, don't sleep on him. If you guys want more NFL draft coverage, you've come to the right spot. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/chatsportstv for more updates and more coverage on YouTube. I think corner's still a need with the way the Packers have kind of changed their defense under Jeff Hafley. They're going to play a lot more cover one. Let's go with Denzel Burke. I think he could have gone pro, been a top 50 pick last year. I think he's going to play really well this year for Ohio State. Now, running back is the easy pick here for Dallas, but let's mix it up. Let's go with Tyleik Williams out of Ohio State. Osa Odighizuwa was a free agent. The under-contract defensive lineman, who we know will be on the team this upcoming year, like maybe Justin Rogers is, he's a seventh-round pick anyway, is Mozzie Smith. That's it. So getting a DT, they don't pay Osa, absolutely is a need. I kind of hate myself for doing this and caving, but Connor Wigman has talent. I need to see more growth out of Wigman, out of Quinn Ewers, out of all these quarterback prospects before I buy into them being true first-round guys. But the NFL seems to be quite high on him. And if that's the case, sitting here behind Aaron Rodgers and continuing the cycle could actually make a lot of sense for New York if they play well. Because without Rodgers, I don't know what that team's plan is at quarterback. How many QBs do you think actually end up going in round 1 of the 2025 NFL draft? Is it 3? Is it 2? Is it just the 1? Like the Kenny Pickett year? Sound off for me in the comments of today's show. Number 25, Walter Nolan, who recently transferred from Texas A&M to Ole Miss, a former top-touted recruit in the nation. I think the Texans need another impact piece on the interior of their defensive line. I would actually very much like to see that be Walter Nolan. I think there is the ability to maximize more than what we've seen so far. Matt Milano banged up again. The Bills might be looking for another impact linebacker. Harold Perkins, I'm curious how he gets deployed this year. He can blitz, but he's not an every down edge rusher. He's too small. I think off-ball linebacker is going to be a spot. I think he's got a lot of up and down potential in terms of like his stock this year. Bengals took care of the right tackle need last year with Amarius Mims. Let's take care of the left tackle, or the left guard, excuse me. Jonah, out of Arizona State, Jonah Savana-Naea, who I think is the tackle for Arizona, might play guard in the NFL. Plug him in at left guard. Keep protecting Joe Burrow. The Eagles love premium position draft picks. They take receivers, they take corners, they take edge rushers, they take linemen. Let's go back to the edge rusher well. Princely Umanmielen, Florida to Ole Miss. I thought there were dominant moments for the Gators. Can't wait to see him this year. A name, if you don't know, you need to know. Alec Ayomanor. That is the Stanford wide receiver who you might remember for absolutely torching Colorado. Not that you guys were watching many Stanford games. Why would you be? Love the size, love the playmaking, love the production. I think it's a great fit with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams, a wide receiver for Detroit. I don't know if Ernest Green's going to be a left tackle or a guard in the NFL. The Ravens might need both, though. That makes them a good fit there at number 30. And the Ravens do love those, I used to say Power 5. It's Power 4 now. Big boy program players. I don't think KC is going to keep both Trey Smith and Joe Thuney long term. So let's plug in one of those guys here instead and get Tyler Booker, who is pound for pound, even though he's big, might be the strongest player in college football. And even just drop the pound part. He is the strongest player. It is unbelievable how much power he has. Finally, the Niners get a tackle, maybe a left tackle long term there for you. Ariante Ursary out of Minnesota moves a lot better than you might expect for someone of that size. So I am very excited to see how he fares this upcoming season. I think there's a lot of talent on that Minnesota offense that they can figure out the quarterback play too. Of course, the Niners have all the time in the world too, but they got to get some more trench players. Who did I leave out of my 2025 NFL mock draft? There's only 32 players. There's a lot. There's half of the guys might not be first-round picks. Maybe it ends up only being like 10, but that'd be really good, historically speaking. Who did I leave out? Drop that player name or names for me in the comments. For other players, I think Shamar Turner's going to have a nice year for Texas A&M. JT Tuimoloau. I kind of started a theory of if we've been talking about you for 3 years or 2 years now and you still haven't gone pro, maybe you're not really going to be a first-round pick. I like Patrick Payton. Landon Jackson from Arkansas. By the way, don't sleep on Mansour Delane from Virginia Tech. Not saying that just because I have him in one of my dynasties. He's very good. Quinn Ewers, I kind of mentioned earlier, but certainly worth the conversation here. He's got to be a better deep ball thrower, though. If the deep ball gets better, I will put him in round 1 happily. Because you got to be a competent deep ball thrower in the NFL. Ashton Jeanty, Ollie Gordon, Donovan Edwards, Quinshawn Junkins, Travion Henderson, all the running backs. It's a good running back class. I bet a bunch of top 50 picks, and probably a round 1 pick when it's all said and done. Mika Ibuka, I didn't have that many receivers going around. He kind of fell out of it, but he's worthy, I think, of that conversation. Isaiah Bond could have a big year for Texas. And I like what I saw from Wyatt Millum at West Virginia, too. More of an under the radar name we have not mentioned